In today's video, we're going to create a light leak transition in Lumafusion. This is something that you might have seen in my earlier videos and also what you just saw. Also, if you want free light leaks, there is some links down in the description below which you can use to find your light leaks. These are free stock sites. And also don't forget the week deal which I'm having right now on Lumafusion presets. It's a bunch of different packages to an extremely low price. RobHK if you want to check out those. Now let's head over to the iPad. Now moving over to Lumafusion, I've already prepared the light leaks here on the timeline. Now I also changed the blend mode to screen, and the reason why I changed it to screen is so that I can overlap the light leaks, creating a unique pattern for my transition. Now this is going to be a straightforward beginner tutorial, so creating this is extremely easy. The first thing I do is to take the light leaks and stack them on top of each other so I can see the pattern which is created when I do a playback. And for this we can see that the light leaks are going way too slow, so we need to go in and customize this by changing the speed of the clip. So we're gonna go into the first one here and change the speed inside of speed and reverse. And first we can try with a 4x speed increase, and this is making it a little bit faster, but it's not gonna be too much. So we're gonna extend this to 6x of normal speed. Now after speeding up the clip, we might want to make some additional cuts to get the parts of the light leak that we want to have for our transition. Now that depends of course on how long the light leak lasts. So for this lasting about 15 seconds, I want to trim it down so I only have the parts within the light leak that I want to use. Now you can find a bunch of different free light leaks on free stock sites and you can download those. I will leave some links down in the description below so you can head over and grab your own light leaks and then create your own unique pattern if you want to create a similar transition that we're going to create in today's tutorial. So now that we trimmed down the clip, we can put it back in placement and we can take a look at the next clip here, and this seems that it has a perfect pattern and I want to use the entire duration, but it goes a little bit too slow, so I need to speed up this as well. So we're going to start with 3x of normal speed and see how that goes. Now doing a playback, we can see that the light leak transition is fairly decent, but I want to speed up some of the other clips as well. Now I think you know where I'm going with this. It's all about stacking the light leaks and then change the speed of it. Most cases you will end up making it faster, and then by stacking them together and just nudging them a little bit to the right and left so they're not placed exactly at the same spot, so not everyone is starting at the same time, really creates a unique pattern. So this is extremely fun to play around with, and you can do that by checking out the links down in the description where you can find some free overlays. There is also some overlays included in the creators bundle for 2022 if you own that or if you are considering getting that one. So now after playing around with the speed of the different light leaks here, I think it's time to add some sound effects. Now the sound effects that I'm going to use is from Epidemic Sound. There's also a link down in the description below for that. 30 days of free trial. This video is not sponsored by Epidemic Sound by no means, but they have some really nice camera sound effects which you can use for your light leak transition or camera roll transition depending on what you decide to create. So for this, I'm using the sound effect of Camera Motor 2 and also the Camera Motor Wind 4 and also the Camera Shutter 7. These are the three sound effects that we're going to use, and I'm not going to use all the parts here. So if we listen through the sound effect here, the first one, which is the Camera Motor 2, I'm only going to use the first part here of this sound effect because it's lasting too long and I don't want to add some speed adjustments to this, so I can just cut away the middle section of the sound effect here, leaving me with the beginning part only. And now for the next sound effect, that is going to be the camera motor wind 4. And here I'm also going to use one part of the sound effect. I'm going to use the last part here, which has that click sound, because I already have something which is similar to the beginning part, which was the first sound effect that I applied. So only going to use the last part here, which is the click sound. And if we play these two together, we will have something that sounds like this. Now for me, this is not enough, so I want to add the camera shutter 7 as well. So let's take a listen to that. Now this is already a short sound effect, so we're going to use the entire part of this one. Now putting these together, it's all about matching the light leaks which is going on top of the sound effects here. There's all different types of ways that you can put together a sound design like this and use different sound effects, but I ended up having everything looking and sounding like this. So now that we're done with the light leak transition here, we might want to add some cross dissolve at the end of some of the light leak layers so it doesn't suddenly stop. So we're just going to add some cross dissolves at the end of the top one here. I don't think we need to add anything on the bottom section of the light leaks, so only for the top one here, and we can also trim it down and shrink it a little bit and take a look at that. So now that we applied the cross dissolve, our light leak transition is complete. What we're going to do now is to multi-select all of these so we get them over to a new project. Now, if you work on an empty project already, you don't have to do this. But since I already have layers prepared in front of this transition, I need to multi-select these, copy them, and paste them in a new project. So like I said, if you're working from an empty project, you don't have to do this. You can go straight to the export. So now that we move these over to a new project, what I like to do is also to lower the audio a little bit, because by default the audio within Lumafusion is way too high. So I lowered this to around -5 to around -9 depending on the audio coming from the clip. Since these are sound effects, I'm lowering this to -5. Now that we've finished with everything, I'm just going to nudge the empty layer here a tiny bit, just one frame to the left, so we have something going on right before the sound starts, so we don't get that clipping, which might occur when you have the audio starting right at the first second of the video playing. So now that we have that, then we're going to go over to export, and we're going to export this as 4K, and then we can change the video quality to 75 megabits per second, because this only gives us a file size of around 6-7 megabytes. After tapping on export, we can move back to the previous project here. Now, like I said earlier, I already prepared some clips before this transition that we just created. So we're going to move over to those two clips. These are two drone shots here going upwards. And we want to add a scene change between these two to make it look a whole lot better than with just having the raw cut. So we're gonna go over and just import the exported file, and here you can see that we have the black background and it's not transparent. So we're gonna go over to edit inside of this layer, over to frame and fit, and we're gonna change the blend mode to screen. So now that we change this to screen, we can place it exactly so we have the entire light leak covering the screen, so we only see the white or red or blue or the color part. If you have colored light leaks, it's going to fill the entire screen. And that's going to be the center point of your transition, which is also going to be the center point between the two clips. Now for this example here, I placed it correctly right away, so we don't have to do any adjustments. Now playing this back, we will have the light leak transition looking like this. Now there we have a rundown of my way of creating these light leak transitions. There's so many different ways that you can do it, or there's a few different ways, not many, but there's different ways that you can do it. So if you want sound effects, Epidemic Sound is down in the description below with a link for you for 30 days free, not sponsored by Epidemic Sound at all, and the stock footage is also down there, so make sure to check out that, and you can play around. You can create multiple different styles of light leaks, and so you have a bunch to choose from when you are making your videos in Lumafusion. So with that said, that's gonna be the end for today. Thanks for tuning in and checking out this video. Really appreciate that and hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.